The last time I spoke with Sadiq Pirani, he told us how technology can make transportation safer and more efficient while reducing greenhouse gas emissions. We also talked about how cities can promote cycling as a safe and accessible mode of transportation. Today, we're talking about the shift from gas to EV. Coming up next. Welcome back, Sadiq. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much, Maria. It's good to see you again and nice to talk to you.
That's great. So the last time we talked about, transportation, because that's really your field of expertise, with where you really bring in how you make cities safe and smart and sustainable. That's what I think.
That is right. Yes.
That's great. So, today we're going to talk a little bit more about EVs and about, the people's driving habits, that sort of thing. So, just to start things off, explain, how transportation solutions are being made for the first and the last kilometer or mile. Like, what are some things that we need to think of the first and the last mile?
That is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is happening nowadays as we talk about, things that we can do to save the environment and, do something which is environment friendly and, that can have less adverse effects on climate change and things like that. We, on the transportation and mobility side, we are focusing on how we can make these mobility solutions more safer, more smarter, efficient, and more sustainable. And what is happening is that on the federal level or on the provincial level and regional levels, the government and municipalities, they are focusing their goal is to make that shift from the we call it single occupancy vehicles or cars, which is driven by one person, to something more adoptable in the sense like public transit, or do some active transportation, cycling and other modes. And what happens is that because the funding is going for different public transit projects nowadays, we see more and more bus rapid transits, LRTs, and investment in subway infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. So people need to understand how, you make your daily commute more convenient, more efficient.
Right.
And in that regard, if you are leaving your personal vehicle at home, what are the options people have in terms of getting from their home to the transit or bus station, and then to their work or school or shopping centers or wherever they like to go. And in that regard, there are few options which has been evolved over the time. And as we see, the ride sharing option is available. Nowadays, we see more and more bike sharing, and there are some scooters, electric scooters options available for people. And then when it comes to shuttle service, so you have some shuttle services available, which takes you, from your home to the transit station or bus station, and then when you get off from there and you are going towards your work or school, you have again those options available, and that's what basically are sustainable,
Right.
and they are also healthy and active modes of transportation when you talk about public transit or bicycles. So as you understand, as an example, nowadays, in Greater Toronto area as well, that the Go Transit, which is Government of Ontario transit system, they are also working on having these autonomous driverless shuttle bus services for first and last miles travel. So then what happens is that you can leave your car at home, and then you can hop on to those autonomous shuttle services, get to the station the nearest to you, and then you travel on public transit. Either you are taking bus or light rail or train, and then when you get to your destination, again there is similar service available, either autonomous shuttle or in the form of bike sharing or scooter sharing, and then that takes you to the your destination. So you can see that it is minimizing the need of personal vehicle for your travel choices.
And probably also people want to save time as well. If it's made speedy and efficient, all of these things, I think at the end of the day, by being sustainable, taking these different modes of transportation to get from point A to point B, people want to get there quickly.
Yes, definitely. And you can understand, like when over the time or gradually, when you will see that more and more commuters will adopt these kinds of modes of transportation, you will have less traffic on the road.
Right.
You can make those transportation infrastructure or network more efficient, less congested, and again you can maintain your speed in terms of when you're driving. I'm talking about buses or other modes, and it will be more safer for those who are taking bikes or riding on bikes. So it helps in diverse ways,
Right.
and that's the goal, that's the objective.
Excellent. What do you think about this radical statement? People should give up cars. Do you think cars should just go away? What do you think about that?
No, cars would not go away. They
Yeah.
they will not go away. But the goal is to how we can minimize the use of personal vehicle. So, for example, if we are talking about next generation or future of transportation, and we see what young people are doing, and the trend, as you understand, that these young generation, we call it Generation Z or Z, they are basically not into owning the car or personal vehicle, and there are many factors for that. But they prefer to take ride sharing, or they prefer to bike to where they want to go. And what happens is that they are basically not acquiring driving license. So the trend is having no driving license, and then adopting these other transportation options or modes. And in that regard, what happens is that when you go in that avenue, is basically they are kind of helping the environment. They are trying to help less adverse effects on climate change and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the idea.
It's a great thinking.
Yes.
Let's talk about the shift from gas-powered vehicles to EVs. What are your thoughts on that and that progression, I guess?
So again, as you can see, because of the uncertainty, in terms of availability of, gas, or we call it like oil, and which are like the vehicles which are powered by oil energy or gas energy. We are basically going again making a shift. It's in the transition to electric vehicles and have electric cars and again buses as well. So the idea is again that how to make vehicles more kind of efficient, safe, and sustainable, and less pollutant. That's the background behind it. And in terms of having these infrastructure for charging vehicles, whether you're talking about personal vehicles or transit vehicles, what is happening is that nowadays the focus is on having these charging stations, installed and having strategically located at locations which can be used, by the public and by the respective agencies. So they install, charging stations either at their garage, like bus garages or transit vehicle garages, or storage places. And then when it comes to private vehicles, you see that more and more people are having those charging stations installed in their homes. And then you see, that not only in U.S. but also in Canada, the federal government is also funding to have the public charging stations available, like for example on at the rest areas or where you make stops along the freeways. So it makes it more convenient and more reliable to use electric vehicle in that sense. So that's the idea behind that.
Totally. So give me your top 3 innovation solutions for active and sustainable transportation.
Okay, so let's, as we talked about first and last mile in the beginning, for, in terms of transportation mode. If, for example, we are talking about active transportation, there is still the case is that people are using bikes or scooters for their leisure activities, and not for commute as a sense. There are people who are using, but the percentage is gradually increasing. And so one thing is in terms of these active modes of transportation is if you are walking, which is the healthiest thing or healthiest mode of transportation for your shorter trips. If it is you're going to a grocery store or drugstore to get your prescriptions and things like that. Or you are going to school, that those are the shorter trips that you can make. And similarly, if the second option is the bicycles. So bicycles, as I mentioned, either it can be in the form of bike sharing or scooter sharing, or it can be, for example, if you have your own bike and you are using transit, you can see that not only on buses, but also on LRTs and subways, they have, facilities where you can store your bikes and you can take it along. And then, so for example, you're coming from your home to the bus station or train station on a bike, and then you, hop onto the train or bus and take your bicycle with you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get off to your destination, again, the bike is
Yeah.
available so that you can, go to your destination point, whether it is work or school or something. So that those are the options are available. And again, we mentioned about the autonomous shuttle services
Mm-hmm.
that are also coming along, and they are not only autonomous, but they are also electric vehicles. So less harm to the environment and more good for the for our environment overall. So those are the
Yeah.
things that are going on. Yes.
What are the going back to the the shift from gas vehicles to EVs? What's happening around EVs and energy storage around on highways or off freeways?
Okay. Yes. So again, as in the transportation or any other industry,
Mm-hmm.
you do research and you come up with lots of innovative developments. So there are research and development going on in terms of how to provide on the go kind of charging locations or facilities. And there are many options that we see. We have not seen much in the North American geographic area, but in Europe and other places, what they are basically testing is whether you can have some sort of electric um, facilities along the pavement,
Mm-hmm.
or you can have it something aerial where, for example, if your buses or LRTs are running on an at grade in on the transportation infrastructure, then you can have those cables or electric cables or other kind of facilities available
Mm-hmm.
to charge these vehicles. So it is basically under testing and under research and development. So
Right.
we may see it, but again, it's in the like a not in the near future, but maybe in like 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because, just like we can wirelessly charge our phones, you
Correct.
don't have to plug it in.
Yes.
Do you see that eventually happening down the road for EVs as well? Like where you can just kind of hover over a section on a piece of pavement and charge your car without plugging it in. What
Exactly.
do you think
So
of that? Like,
yeah, it's futuristic. It's
yeah.
it's interesting. It's fascinating, and like as I said, the research and development is going on. So
Yeah.
we may see it, like if it becomes feasible for government agencies or for private industry. If it becomes feasible, then it can happen. So let me give you an example. What we see right now in terms of smart mobility solutions, or previously it was known as ITS, which
Mm-hmm.
is Intelligent Transportation System. The background of this ITS is also very interesting because it started as smart highways. So they tested a section of the highway where they have installed in California. I'm talking where they have installed these radars or detection system where you can guide the vehicle and it can run itself. with that technology. But over the time, it has evolved, and we see more and more like smart vehicles instead of smart highways. So you never know where the shift is going to be. But the objective is to again make the transportation more safer, more efficient, and smart, and sustainable. So those are the ideas, and what we see is that is a big push. Again, as I said, from having a personal vehicle to either having a shared vehicle or going to the sustainable modes of transportation, which are more walking, bicycling, and using public transit.
I must say it was wonderful talking to you today, and thank you for sharing all of your knowledge and all the things that you have your finger on the pulse on a lot of these new technologies and innovations that are coming out. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate having you back.
Thank you very much for having me again, and it is always nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Yes, have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Autonomous transportation and how we are moving towards solutions to get around sustainably. That was Sadiq Pirani of NV5 sharing all he knows about the subject. Thank you so much. This podcast is sponsored by Smart Energy, an annual event that brings together those in the renewable energy space. I appreciate your time today. I'm your host, Maria McGowan.